Good evening, guys. Welcome to my class. Today we'll be working on maths and continuing from where we stopped under the each session, because we did the pre-session last week. So the next topic we need to touch on the each session is AP and GP. Well, we're going to be starting from arithmetic progression first. AP, arithmetic progression. When do we have an arithmetic progression? If you have a sequence of numbers and there is a common difference between this entire sequence of numbers, then you have an arithmetic progression. Take for instance, you have a sequence of numbers minus 3, 1, 5, 9, dot. Now look at it. There is a common difference between all these numbers. How do we know we have a common difference? Because, well, this is called the first term, this is called the second term, third term, fourth term, up to the nth term, whatever the nth term is. Now, the common difference for an arithmetic progression is Tn minus Tn minus 1. What does this mean? This term minus the term before it. Take for instance, let's say this term is 7th term. The common difference is going to be T7 minus T7 minus 1, that's T6. Did you understand it? All together, which is going to be equal to T6 minus T5, which is going to be equal to T5 minus T4, which is going to be equal to T3 minus T2, like that. So for an arithmetic progression, the difference between all the terms, like between two consecutive terms, are always the same. Always the same. That's why we call it common difference. So for an arithmetic progression, you are likely to be given two scenarios. What is the first scenario? 1, you are given an nth term of a progression. Let's take an example for that. Let's say you are given that the nth term of the progression is equals to, let's say, 6 plus 2 into bracket 4 minus 3n. Let's say this is the nth term of a progression. In this situation, they can tell you to find probably common difference, the first term. So usually you can be asked to find the common difference, first term, which is something as saying A, common difference. You can be asked to find any term, the nth term. And these are majority of the questions that you can be asked to find a particular term, which is the nth term, the first term, which is T1 or E, or the common difference. Now let's say we are asked to find the first term in this question. The first term, which is T1, is just going to be 6 plus 2 into bracket 4 minus 3 into bracket 1. How do we have this? Because our n has changed to 1. Whenever we have n inside the equation, we put 1 there. Does it make sense? Alright, which becomes 6 plus 2 into bracket 4 minus 3 times 1 is minus 3, which takes us to 6 plus 2 into bracket 4 minus 3 is minus 1. So you have 2 times 4 minus 3 is 1. My bad. So 4 minus 3 is 1. So 2 plus 1 is, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 6, which is equals to 8. And that is the first step. So you know that T1 is equals to 8. What about common difference? To find common difference, I have to find, T2, T3, T whatever. So I could say my common difference is equals to T2 minus T1. So I have to do T2 first. So I can say this is going to be, 6 plus 2 into bracket 4 minus 3 into bracket 2 minus, I know my T1 already is 8, so I don't need to work that out again. Does this make sense? This entire thing represents T2. Are we good? And this is T1. So it's still the same formula for common difference. We're going to be having 6 plus 2 into bracket minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. I have 4 minus 6. Then minus 8, which takes me to 6 plus 4 minus 6 is 2. 4 minus 6 is minus 2. Then I'm going to be having 2 multiplied by minus 2, which is going to give me negative 4. Yeah, so we have 6 minus 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. Are we together? 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 minus 8 is minus 6. Therefore, the common difference is minus 6. Yeah. And if you have to find, let's say, a particular term, like say the 40th term, and it is going to be substituting for n, which is going to be easy. Which is going to be 6 plus 2 into bracket 4 minus 3 into bracket 4, which would lead us to 6 plus 2 into bracket 4 minus 3 times 40 is minus 120, which takes us to 6 plus 2 into bracket minus 116. And if you press your calculator, so you're going to calculator, please. Yeah, so if you press your calculator and you do negative 116 times 4, what are you going to be getting? You're going to be getting negative 464. I'm going to be having 6 minus negative 464, which is going to give us negative 458. Does this make sense? Don't forget, in this situation, you are given an n term. Take another situation, they can give you that the n term of the sequence is equals to 3 minus 2n. Now, and they are telling you to find, let's say, the common difference and T8. And this is going to be easy. To find the common difference, I could just find any term. Let's say I could find T8 and T7 and do T8 minus T7. I could find T2 and T1 and do T2 minus T1. Does it make sense? So let's find T8 first. Know that T8 is going to be equals to 3 minus 2 into bracket 8. I'm going to be having 3 minus 16, which is going to be equals to minus 13. And I can look for T7, which is going to be equals to 3 minus 2 into bracket 7, which is going to be 3 minus 14, which is going to be equals to minus 11. Therefore, common difference is equals to minus 13 minus 11. Doesn't make sense. T8 minus T7. We're going to be having minus 13 plus 11, which is going to be equals to minus 2. Very, very easy. Yeah, let's take another example real quick. They're given a very simple progression. 11 minus 1. 11 minus 1 minus 13. Don't make noise. 11 minus 1 minus 13 minus 25. This was the proportion given to us. The question is find T6 plus T7. Well, to find T6 plus T7, I have to first find T6. So T6 is going to be, don't forget, they didn't give us a progression, like the n stem of the progression. So we have to use the general n stem, which is A plus n minus 1. And the n here is 6. So 6 minus 1 is 5. D. Does that make sense? A plus 6 minus 1. Hope it makes sense. I hope it makes sense to everybody. Alright. When we have been teaching equals to A plus 5D, which is going to be equals to, what is our A? 11 plus 5. And so what's our common difference? Our common difference is minus 1 minus 11, which is equal to what? Minus 12. And if you do minus 13 minus 1, you're going to be having minus 13 plus 1, which is equal to minus 12. So our common difference is therefore minus 12. Then we are having minus 12. I will figure that I'm going to be having 11 plus 5. 5 times minus 12 should be minus 60. Negative 60. 11 minus 60 should be 49. And that should be, it should be minus 49 and 59. And that should be T6. What about T7? T7 is going to be A plus.
Yeah. Did they arrange them? Last year.
So we're going to be doing T7. T7 is A plus 60. Now we've got A plus 60. A plus N minus 1. 7 minus 1. 80. And 7 minus 1 is 6. So we have, what is our A? 11 plus 6 into our common difference will fall into the negative 12. We're only having 11. 6 times negative 12 is supposed to be negative 72. Please press your calculator, make sure you are sure. Make sure you are sure. Okay. So 11 minus 72 should give us negative 61. So question says T6 plus T7. So I can say T6 plus T7 going to be equals to minus 49 plus minus 61, which is equals to minus 49 minus 61. Y plus times minus 16 minus, which gives us minus 110. And the rest of the yeah, let's go on to the next thing under AP, something called sum of APs. Let's say we want to add the first n terms of an AP together. Let's say an AP has 20 terms. I want to add like the first 30 terms together, or the first 20, or the first 10, or the first 5, or the first n terms. There's a formula for that. And the formula for the sum of AP is Tn. We don't use Tn again, we're going to be using Sn at this time. So Tn means n stem, Sn means sum of n stem. So Sn is equals to, n over 2 into bracket 2e plus n minus 1 common difference. There's another way to write this formula. In case I didn't tell you before, your last term is the same thing as your nth term. Are we together? So your last term is exactly the same thing as your nth term. So let me write this formula in a new way. Don't forget, this is the same thing as saying n over 2 into bracket a plus n minus 1 common difference. If you notice, these two formulas are exactly the same. How do we get this? 2a is a plus a, right? So I'm separating it with the addition. And if you remember, this is the nth term of a progression. Therefore, the sum of nth term can be written as n over 2 into bracket a plus tn, or n over 2 into bracket a plus n. Depends on how you want to solve it. So I could use this formula, this or this. Are we good? And please, you can only use this formula if you are looking for the sum of the first. So the sum starts from 1 and it stops at whatever number of 10 you want to add. So if they say you are looking for the sum from, let's say, 17 to something, you can't use this formula. I will tell you that. Because this formula is only from the first term to whatever term you want to store. Are we together? So this sum automatically always starts from the first term. Let's take a question on sum of nth term, dude. Do we have a question on sum of nth term?
I see. No.
Yeah, I think I have a question here. Hello. Yeah, I have a question here that says find the sum of n term of this sequence. Okay, they give us a sequence here: 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And they're telling us to find the sum of the first 50 term. Sum of the first 50. What they're asking us to find is S50. We can use the formula that Sn is equal to n over 2 into bracket. Now, which formula are we going to use? Are we going to use this or this? It depends. If they give you the last term of the progression, like the value of the last term of the progression, then you use this formula. But if they didn't give you, then you're going to be using this formula. And in this question, we're not giving the last term of the progression. So you're going to be using the formula on top, which is n over 2 into bracket 2a plus n minus 1 common difference. Don't forget, you're looking for S50. Therefore, we're going to be having 50 over 2 into bracket 2 times our a is 1. How do we know? That's the first term here. Plus 50 minus 1 is 49. Common difference. How are we together? And we can go on and say this is 25, because 50 divided by 2 is 25. Into bracket 2 plus 49. What is our common difference? From this progression, our common difference is 3 minus 1, which is equal to 2. Then I have 25 into bracket 2 plus 49 times 2 is 98. We will be having 25 into bracket. And 8 plus 2 gives us 101. So if you press your calculator, 25 times 101, 2525. Therefore, the sum of our 58th term is 2525. Is that good? What is that correct? Very easy. Let's try and solve again. Jump papers. We want to solve only 80 questions for now. Now look at this question 2. I hope you can see the entire screen. Alright, you can see the entire screen. It said the third term of an AP is 4x minus 2y. So we can write it down. T3 is equals to 4x minus 2y. And it said the ninth term is 10x minus 8y. What else were we told? They said we should find common difference. Now look at this. Don't forget, T3 is same thing as saying a plus 2d. How? Because the nth term is a plus n minus 1. Now our n is 3. Therefore, we are going to be having a plus 3 minus 1d. Is that clear? So we can say our T3 is a plus 2d, which will give us 4x minus 2y. Right? And our T9 is a plus 8d, which will give us 10x minus 8y. Now, I have equation 1. I have equation 2. I could do equation 2 minus equation 1. And I'm going to be having a plus 8d minus a plus 2d is equals to 10x minus 8 minus 4x minus 2y. All together. And if I open the bracket, I'm going to be having a plus 8d minus a minus 2d, because this minus opens the bracket and it changes all the sign. Minus times a minus a, minus times plus 2d becomes minus 2d, which leads us to 10x minus 8. Sorry, this is supposed to be, is it 8 or 8y? Please, before we make a mistake, because of 8y here. 10x minus 8y. I use minus 2 upon the bracket, I have minus 4x. Now it becomes plus 2y because of the minus outside the bracket. A cancels minus A. 8d minus 2d gives us 6d. Are we together? So I have 10x minus 4x gives us 6x. And minus 8y plus 2y gives us minus 6y. Now if you know this, I could divide all through by 6. I'm going to be having d is equals to x minus y. A very easy question. Let's see if x minus y is in the option. Yes, that is in the option. So let's take another question. Let's say the fifth term of an 8 is 24. Fifth term is 24. And the 11th term is 96. Find the first term. Yeah, now we can still use the same method. We know T5 has to be A plus 4D because n minus 1, 5 minus 1 is 4, is equals to 24. For those that don't understand, Tn is equals to A plus n minus 1D. Now our n has become 5, so I have T5 is equals to A plus 5 minus 1D, which becomes A plus 4D. I hope you understand the process now, because from now on I'm going to be typing this and I expect you to understand what we are doing. So if our T5, which is A plus 4D, is 24, and our T11, which is A plus 10D, is 96. We have two equations. Now, we are trying to find A. To find A, we have to find probably D first. And we can just do the same thing, equation 2 minus equation 1. I'm going to be having A minus A cancels. 10D minus 4D is going to give us 6D. 96 minus 24 is going to give us 72. Now we can divide both sides by 6. I'm going to be having D is equals to 12. Then now we can now substitute for D in any equation. Let's say in equation 1. A plus 4D is equals to 24. So I'm going to be having A plus 4. D is 12 equals to 24. So I'm going to be having A plus 4 times 12 is what? 48, right? Is equals to 24. So take it to the other side. I'm going to be having A is equals to 24 minus 48, which is going to be equals to negative 24. Do we have negative 24 in the option? Yes, option D. Yes. It said the sum of the first n term of the arithmetic progression is, now let's write the progression, 5, 17, 23. So we have 5, 17, 23. Where do we have? Which is 5, 11, 7. 5, 11, 5, 11, 17, 23, 29, 35. So we should find the sum of first nth term, Sm. If you look at it, at the back of the progression, it gives us dot, 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 which means this is not the last term. So don't forget, we are not giving the last term. So we cannot use the formula. We can't use this formula. We can't use this. Instead, we are going to be using this formula. Clear? Alright. So I was going to do Sn into bracket n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 common difference. So n is what? We have to find S n. Okay, they didn't give us n, so we're going to be having Sn is It's going to be n over 2 into bracket. Our a is 5, so I have 2 into bracket 5 plus n minus 1 into, what is the common difference? 11 minus 5. If you press your calculator, or you don't even need to press your calculator to know that is 6. And 17 minus 11 is 6. We're going to be having this. If we keep opening the bracket, we're going to be having n over 2 into brackets. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 6 times n is 6n minus 6. 6n, 6 times minus 6 is minus 6. Or 6 times minus 1 is minus 6. 10 minus 6 is 4. So I have n over 2 into brackets 4 plus 6n. What did I notice? 2 is common in this bracket, so I can factor out 2. I'm going to be having 2n over 2 into brackets 2 plus 3n. How did I get this? If I remove 2 from 4, or if you factor out 2 from 4, you're left with 2. And if you factor out 2 from 6, you're left with what? 3. How do we know that? 4 is something as saying 2 times 2. So if I cancel one of the 2, by factoring, I'm left with 2. And the 6 is something as saying 2 times 3. So if I take the 2, I'm left with the 3. So 2 cancels 2. And our Sn is equals to n into bracket 2 plus 3n. That's our final answer. And the answer is B. N into bracket 2 plus 3n. 3n plus 2 plus 3n is still the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. What happened? Who said I was calling? Alright. Yeah. So the third term over, I think let's just solve one more and we can get to GP, because I want to cover the entire AP and GP in one video. Just one more question. They said the third term of an AP is minus 9. So they said third term is, don't forget, third term is a plus 2d is minus 9. And they told us that the seventh term, which is a plus 6d, is what? Minus 29. Find T10. Find the 10th term. Alright? Don't forget, we have two equations here. Equation 1, equation 2. It's very easy. I can just say equation 2 minus equation 1. A minus A is cancelled. 6d minus 2d is 4d. Minus 29. Minus 29 minus 9. Don't forget, let's do it outside. Minus 29 minus 9. It becomes minus 29 plus 9. Which leaves us with minus 20. Exactly. So we have 4d is equals to minus 20. Divide both sides by 4. And d is equals to minus 5. Are we together? Yes. Now that we have d, we can find a. So we can say sub for d or substitute for d in, let's say, equation 1. I'm going to be having a plus 2d is equals to minus 9. Therefore, I'm going to be having a plus 2 into bracket minus 5 is equals to minus 9. As a, 2 times minus 5 gives us minus 10. So we have a minus 10 is equals to minus 9. Call it like 10. I'm going to be having a is going to be equals to minus 9 plus 10. This is going to be equals to 2. And that is the first term. We can use both the first term and common difference to find the 10th term. Therefore, T10 is going to be equals to T10 is going to be equals to a plus 9d. You should know how to get this now, n minus 1. And what is our a? 1 plus 9 into bracket minus 5. It should give us 1 plus, well, maybe not 1 plus, because plus 9 times minus 5 gives us minus 45. For our final answer is going to be 44. Is there 44 in the chart? Yes, there's a 44. So that's a W in the chart. W in the fucking chart. Alright. I think this is all on AP. I'm going to drop a speed quiz as well as an assignment for AP, and we can quickly proceed to GP. Alright, for geometric progression, unlike an AP, we don't have something called a common difference. It means there is no common difference between all the terms. Instead, we have something called common ratio. How do I explain common ratio to you that you understand? Common ratio is let me give you a very good example. Let's say the series 2, 6, 18, 54. Now, if I do the ratio of T2 to T1, I'm going to be getting exactly the same thing as the ratio of T3 to T2, which will be exactly the same as the ratio of T4 to T3, which will be exactly the same as the common ratio. Are we together? And if you look at it, 6 divided by 2 is going to be equals to 18 divided by 6. It's going to be equals to 54 divided by 18. Therefore, the common ratio of all this is going to be what? 3. Are we together? So instead of a common difference, you're going to be having a common ratio. And how do you find the nth term of a GP? So to find the nth term of a GP, we're going to be having Tn is going to be equals to A multiplied by R to the power of n minus 1. A multiplied by R to the power of n minus 1, where A is the first term, R is the common ratio, n is the number of terms. So let's take a quick example. For this sequence, we have 2, 6, 18, 54. And the question asks us, find the 11th term of the sequence. Find T11. And you can attest that T11 has to be equals to AR raised to power n minus 1, 11 minus 1, 10. Does it make sense? 2. And what is our A? Because this is not the end of the progression. Our A here is 2. What is our common ratio? 6 divided by 2 or 18 divided by 6 or 54 divided by 18. You get 3 to the power of 10. So if you pick out your calculator and you do 2 times 3 to the power of 10, you're going to be left with, sorry, my calculator is showing some ads. That's 118098. So the nth term of a GP is very, very easy. It's a very, very easy question. Now see this question, they said, how many terms are in this progression? They give a progression. 2, 4, 8, dot, 128. How many terms are in this progression? If you look at this progression, it gave us the last term. And don't forget, the last term is something as saying the nth term. And for that, my nth term is 128. But don't forget, this progression is not arithmetic, it's geometric, because it doesn't have a common difference. Instead, it has a common ratio. And first, what is the common ratio? The common ratio is 4 divided by 2, which is equals to 8 divided by 4, which is going to be equals to 2. Now, therefore, don't forget what's the formula for nth term. Nth term of the GP is equals to AR to the power of n minus 1. And what is our A here? 2. What is our common ratio? 2 to the power of, we don't know, n minus 1. And this would give us 128, which is our nth term. Are we good? So we have an equation here. This is 4. First, I could even first divide by 2. I'm going to be having 2 to the power of n minus 1 is equals to 128 over 2. Which I can easily see this is something I'm saying 2 to the power of n minus 1 is equals to 64. And I can express 64 as the power of 2. So this is 2 raised to the power n minus 1 is equals to 2 raised to the power 6. For those that don't understand, solve a lot of questions and you'll be used to how most of these numbers work. So 2 can cancel 2 and I'm going to be left with n minus 1 is equals to 6. Collect like terms and becomes n is equals to 6 plus 1, which becomes 7. Very easy, right? Yeah, it is very, very, very easy. Very easy. So we can go on to the sum of the nth term of the GP, sum of the first nth term of a GP. Yeah, it is quite tricky with this. Why? Because there are two formulas that will be used under different conditions. Yeah. And what are the conditions first? The conditions is the common ratio greater than 1 or is the common ratio less than 1? Are we together? So these are important conditions. If the common ratio is greater than 1, then I'm going to be having the sum of the first n term to be A into brackets R to the power of n minus 1 over R minus 1. On the other hand, if the common ratio is less than 1, then I'm going to be having the sum of the first nth term to be A into brackets 1 minus R to the nth power over 1 minus R. So the common ratio is greater than 1, the R comes first. The common ratio is less than 1, the R comes last. Are we together? Now, let's take the same progression that we have 2, 6, 18, 54, blah, blah, blah. We have to find the sum of the first 6. So, S6, first we have to determine is the common ratio greater than 1 or less than 1. And let's first find common ratio. Yeah, the common ratio is 6 divided by 2, which is 3. 3 is greater than 1. So my formula here is going to be Sn is equals to A into bracket R to the n minus 1 over R minus 1. Are we together? And what is our A in this situation? Our A is 2. Our common ratio is 3. So we have 3 to the power of n minus 1 over 3 minus 1. Now the beauty is we are looking for S6. So S6 is going to be equals to 2 into brackets 3 to the power of 6 minus 1. You have to be careful, yo. Don't be in a hurry so you don't fail. Over 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. It becomes 2 into brackets 3 to the power of 6. What do we have? 729 minus 1 divided by 2. 2 cancels 2, and I'm going to be left with 728. Yeah, very, very easy. Let's take another question. Here we are given another sequence. 1 over 2, 1 over 4, 1 over 8, 1 over 16, blah, 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 blah. And we are told to find, well, the sum of, let's say the first 12 terms. How do we find this? First, you always have to look for the common ratio. The common ratio is T2 divided by T1. That's 1 over 2 divided by 1, which is something that's saying anything divided by 1 is same thing, 1 over 2. Don't forget T2 over T1, T3 over T2, all together. So we don't have common ratio to be 1 over 2. So I can go and say S12 is equals to A into bracket. Look at it, 1 over 2 is less than 1. Therefore, our formula will change to 1 minus R to the n over 1 minus R. I don't know if you understand it. Alright. So our first term is 1. So I can say this is 1 to bracket 1 minus. What's our common ratio? 1 over 2 to the power of 12. Because our n now is 12 over 1 minus 12. What am I saying? 1 minus 1 over 2, because R is 1 over 2. Are we together? Which takes us to, well, same as saying 1 into bracket 1 minus 1 over 2 raised to the power 12, because 1 raised to the power 12 is 1. 2 raised to the power 12. It's 4096. 1 minus half is minus 1 over 2. Are we going somewhere? We have this to become 1 into bracket 1 minus 1 is something that's saying 4096 over 4096. So I'm going to be doing 4096 minus 1 if both of the LCMs are the same thing. But you that don't understand what we did, just do LCM. What's the LCM of 1 and 4096? The LCM of 1 and 4096 is 4096. And do that out. LCM is 4096. 4096 divided by 1 is 1 times 1 is 1. Minus 4096 divided by 4096 is, sorry, what am I doing? 4096 divided by 1, anything divided by 1 is the same thing. So it's 4096 times, times this one on top, which is 4096. Minus 4096 divided by 4096, which gives us 1, times 1 on top, which is 1. Therefore, we have 4095 over 4096 for only the top. Are we together? If I have 4096 minus 1 over 4096 divided by minus 1, we get 2. Are we together? So we have 4095 over 4096 times 2 over minus 1. Yes. Shit. Sorry, please forgive my system. So look at it. 2 can go in 4096. divided by 2. So I have 2 year 1, 2 year 2048. I'm going to be having 1495 over 2048 minus, is it times? Times minus 1. So I have becoming my function, like I got this my function. So I have 4095 divided by 2048. So I have 199, 1.999, that's 2. I have 1.999 times minus 1, which is minus 1.999 or minus 2. Are we together? Let's before we go to start solving the questions from the exam past papers, let's take something else, something called sum to infinity.